Hello, welcome to NAR Outdoors. My name's John. I want to invite you to join me on this journey I'm about to embark on, both learning how to do YouTube as well as trying to do things to expand my accessibility to the outdoors. I am a mountain biker, a scuba diver, I fish, I'll hike, I'm in scouting, and I live in North Carolina. I got some great opportunities nearby. Unfortunately, I do have kids. I have commitments in town, I have a job, and it makes it a little difficult to get outside sometime. I've decided that to try to improve my access to the outdoors, I am going to build up a truck camper. Something that I can just hop in, drive out, pop up for the evening after I get off work, and the next day be ready to go, ready to do what I want to do. There's a lot of decisions to be made, and that's really what the beginning of this series is going to be about, is those decisions, my thoughts, and then what I decide. And then I'll take you on the journey as I get my truck, get my camper, modify things, upgrades, and then some of the trips I go on. So I hope you'll join me. It is going to be slow at start. Subscribe, please. Just know that it's going to be sporadic at the beginning, especially. So anyway, here's the idea. We're going to get a truck. All right. We're going to get that truck, and we are going to put a pop-up camper on the back of it. Now, I did consider adventure van, and not for me. Again, I got kids, I got carpool. It's just going to be too much. And if you've looked at prices on those, especially when they're actually outfitted, they are up there. And I'm just going to first off say, I know I'm looking at trucks. I know some of you guys are dying the wool, Ram guys, F-150, Sierra, Silverado, Tundra, maybe even a couple guys that like the Titan. I'm not going full size. I've had a full size. I've had it where I live. It is more than I need. It is too much to navigate around the city. And, you know, they have some super big pros. They have lots of options for drivetrains, for levels of trim. Some of them have the capacity I even want, although some mid-sizes have more capacity than some of these full sizes. But they are expensive. It is way more than I need size-wise. And it's just not what I'm going to go with. So mid-sized trucks, it is a super exciting time. Someone once said year of the mid-size. I think they're right. We've got a number of new or nearly new models, a couple established models. And let's talk about kind of where I'm going with this. We'll talk about the different options on the market and what I chose. So first off, unfortunately in last place is the Jeep Gladiator. This is a cool looking truck. Don't get me wrong. And it is probably the most off-road capable or up there in terms of all the midsize, because that's what it's built for. It is not for me. I don't need the off-road chops for this. The coolness about being able to drop the top goes out the window when I start talking about putting a camper cap on it. I have a problem with Chrysler's reliability as well. I've had bad experiences in the past. And then gas mileage, not great. It is a little dated. Does have some really good capacity. You know, the towing is right up there, top of the class. The cargo capacity is up there, top of the class. Again, ground clearance, pretty cool. This was just updated, new infotainment system. That is huge. I think this is going to be pretty cool. And I do have some really high hopes. The head of the company has talked about needing to address reliability. So I'm hopeful that in the next several years that will change a lot. I'm really excited to, as this is going to be likely electrified soon. Plug-in hybrids, I do think, are kind of the future. and this one is one of the first. Guys, I know you love Jeeps. Again, not for me. I need something that's going to drive better on a daily basis. I need something that's going to be more reliable. But again, really cool. Really, really cool. Next up, Honda Ridgeline. I know some of you are going to say, hey, that isn't really a truck. It's a unibody car with a bed. You're not wrong, but it is a truck. It does what I need from a truck. It's a pretty cool truck too. They've definitely stepped out of the norm, trying to do things differently, and I'm okay with that. I like that. Reasonable price. Not a whole lot of range here. It starts around 40, only goes about 46 for the top tier. And it's not got a low range. It does have some really cool with their IVT M4 all-wheel drive system technology to prevent slipping, which can be helpful. Biggest things I have a problem with this, its ride quality is way up there. It's probably going to be the best riding of all these trucks, the most car-like. Some people like that, some people don't. It's not going to ride like a truck though. But I'm a little disappointed on its miles per gallon. It's a little disappointing, especially for a body style where it is a unibody construction. They did some cool stuff with the tailgate. I like that. Other pieces are trying to catch up, especially in the full-size market. I like the little trunk thing in the back too. That could be super useful. I'm not a fan of the infotainment, so that's a little disappointing. Very small screen. I think it's going to be updated next year. If not next year, then the year after, as the Pilot just got updated. And it actually, surprisingly is one of the higher capacity trucks in this range. Towing isn't great, but it's right around 1,500 pounds of cargo capacity. And this would be a good choice for a lot of people. And it might have been a good choice for me. Again, I'm just not a fan of the infotainment. And the miles per gallon is disappointing, especially coming from Honda. So we're going to stay away from this one. It'll be exciting to see what it changes in the next couple of years. I wouldn't be surprised if they're also going to electrify this plug-in hybrid or just hybridize it in the next several years as well. But it's a pretty cool truck. I like it. They're definitely going out on a limb that other people have followed, like Ford with the Maverick and the Santa Cruz, doing that unibody construction. Seems to be successful for a lot of them. Next up, Nissan Frontier. I really want to like this. My father-in-law actually has one of these, and I do like it. It is a good truck. It's a truck's truck. It rides like a truck. It looks like a truck. I think it's pretty sharp looking too, especially this update over the past couple of years. It looks aggressive, but not too much. Biggest downsides. So its infotainment is like way dated. Super disappointing. And that's probably one of the biggest complaints I have for it. The other thing, which actually is more keeping me from the infotainment, is the capacity is abysmal. So you're looking at like 1,100, 1,200 pounds cargo capacity, maybe. Once I throw a tent on the back, put 300-400 pounds of scuba gear in the back, have my kitchen stuff, have a cooler, I can't carry anybody in it with me. So this one's out, but I do like it. I think it's going to be updated for next year with a new infotainment system. I'm hoping they will address that cargo capacity because it's a solid truck. My father-in-law is treating him really well. And it's got a good feel to it, a good ride. I'm pretty impressed with it, just not for me. Toyota Tacoma. This is the elephant in the room. This is like the old guard, the standard by which many are judged. And just updated this year, 2024. And they've addressed some things that people have problems with, and they haven't other things. And I've got some concerns about this. So, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not getting one of these. I've driven one. I was underwhelmed by the engine. Not that it didn't have enough power. It just felt rough. Same with the transmission. Interior felt tight but cheap. But again, I got to go back to that cargo capacity. The models that we're looking at is like 1,200 pounds. And that's not enough for what I'm going to do. And I question some people that are building these out. I have concern they're probably over what they should be, and that could be a liability problem if they were to get into an accident. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to have to add a whole bunch of stuff just to make it ride how it should when it's got payload. I'm also a little concerned about these new engines. Toyota's not doing great with their track record with truck engines in the past year or two, especially the supercharged, hybridized. Toyota also thinks very highly of these. These things are crazy expensive. To get like the bigger infotainment system and kind of basic stuff, you're looking around 50,000, and it goes up from there. Kudos to them though for multiple bed lengths. I think that's huge. That's probably going to drive a lot of people here. But Toyota, you had a chance to fix the rear seat legroom, and you didn't. And that's another reason I'm not going with you. The styling, hit or miss. From some angles, looks really aggressive, really cool. From others, it's kind of like, why is there a hole there in the side of the truck? Some people really love it. And this thing, they're going to sell a ton of these. I mean, Toyota, the Tacoma, again, it's the old guard. Its name is going to continue on. Its legacy is going to continue. I really like that they have the Trail Hunter edition. It definitely brings to the table things that people are going to want to do to their trucks. But it is really expensive. So I am excited to see kind of where this goes with the Toyota. I know it's not for me. Some people are going to love it. The aftermarket support is going to be amazing for this truck. But not for me. I got to put people in the back seat, and that just doesn't happen with these Tacomas. Let's talk about the twins. So GMC Canyon, Chevy Colorado. I was really excited when they announced these last year. They are pretty cool trucks. They have done a really good job with that styling. It looks super sharp, super aggressive. I really like the engine that's in these. It's been proven in the full-size trucks, and that's awesome. I'm a little bit worried about the reliability. This first year hasn't gone well for them. I've heard problems. And definitely GMC, Chevy going for the off-road guys, trying to take a chunk out of the Toyota Tacoma market with the wheel sizes, the available packages. The Chevy Trail Boss is actually a really cool option. I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be the right thing for a lot of people. And then, their infotainment system is actually really solid. I've driven one of these. This would definitely be probably the Canyon, my second choice. The engine felt good. Like, it just felt good. The transmission was planted. It felt solid. Interior looked nice. There was some kind of chintzy, weak feeling plastics. But I am a little worried about that reliability in these. I have not heard good things lately. Now, all new trucks, all new vehicles have that teething phase. It's not unusual, but I feel like it's more so with these guys. Additionally, they've got some really cool Halo vehicles in this. The AT4X, the ZR2. Jacked these guys up and made them just absolutely beasts off-road. Front and rear lockers, huge tires with space for more. I do think that these are going to have a huge aftermarket following as well, because you're not going to have to do a whole lot. You're going to have a lot of bolt-on opportunities. I do wish that these were a little more reliable. Additionally, guys, they have this awesome engine. They had an opportunity to improve fuel economy, and compared to the outgoing, it is less. That is disappointing. Additionally, in these higher trims, you don't get that cargo capacity I need. But this is a cool truck. Definitely listening to the customers, front and rear lockers available. I think you're going to see a lot of these on the road. I think you're going to see a lot of these on the trail. And I again, this would be my second choice. But there is something better, in my opinion, for me. So Ford Ranger, new for 24. Originally introduced last year, so it's kind of a 23 model, but that was for the rest of the world, primarily designed in Australia. And the Australians, they know trucks this size. They call them utes, but they know them. They designed this. It's their baby. We're taking over from it. Styling, they've updated it. I really like it. It's not too aggressive, but it's also kind of bold and still very nice to look at. Powertrain, they're carrying it over for the base powertrain from the last generation, which is good. It's a solid powertrain. They kind of proved to the world that these turbo 4s in a truck can do it. Transmission, solid transmission, and I think they've updated it, made it even better for now. And then the biggest things that kept the last generation back was the suspension. They've addressed that by moving the shocks outboard, changing the track. And then the interior, the infotainment, people weren't happy with it. It was kind of cheap feeling, and they've really addressed that with these trucks. I'm really excited about them. They've got a good range without really having too much. So like some of these competitors like the Toyota, there's like 7 or 8 or 9 different models within the range, different spec levels that you could get, and then tons of options within it. Ford's kept it really simple. You get the XL, XLT, Lariat, and then the Halo Raptor. And within that range, I think most people's needs are going to be met. Raptor is the badass, super cool Halo vehicle, and we're going to talk about that more. We're going to talk about this range in general more, about what I've chosen. I am really excited that they are offering the 2.7 EcoBoost engine in it. I don't think that the 2.3 was underpowered, but I really like the 2.7. I have been really digging into it. I have been looking at the 2.7s and F-150s for years since they first came out. It is probably one of, if not the best engine in Ford's lineup. If you go to some of these YouTube videos of the people that tear it down and give their opinions, the diesel mechanics that look at them, it's built solid. Like, they definitely challenge the convention and have gone in a way that just blows some of the other engine manufacturing designs out of the water. So, sneak peek, I'm getting a 2.7. The thing that really sold me on the Ranger, however, is it's comfortable inside. It drives super nicely. It's super smooth. And it has that cargo capacity I need. So I haven't seen a Ranger spec'd out outside of the Raptors with less than 1,500 pounds of cargo capacity. I know my 2.7 is going to drop that a little bit. I don't think it's going to drop it that much, but we'll see. So yeah, we're going Ranger. Next steps, you're going to see some videos. We're going to look at camper options. We're going to dig into the Ranger lineup specifically. So again, it's going to be slow. I'm still figuring out this YouTube thing. Like, subscribe. I would appreciate it. You'll get the notifications as I drop a new video. And then once we receive the truck and we start building it up, that's when it's really going to start rocking and rolling. Thanks again for joining me. Again, my name is John. This is NAR Outdoors. The reason for that name will become apparent later. Thanks again. Bye.